So CPIS 012300118. So as I said earlier, we're able to piece together kind of a timeline of your treatment seeking history.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of piece that together for me.
So me seeking for any sort of mental help or physical?
Anything to do with your pain. So if you feel
Okay.
it's mental and physical, go for it.
Well, to start with the pain, he sent me to pain management, which is what I was seeking for anyway. It took them quite a while, about 3 or 4 months to get into it.
Yeah.
Which they came to the realisation that it was something more, because they couldn't help in every way. Then I went to physio, and I did that for about 6 months before they would actually listen to me and say it was actually causing more pain than good.
Right.
I've been seeking for alternative sort of therapies like aquatherapy and just every, anything that anyone could offer me, I wanted to try just to sort of reduce the pain, even just reduce it a little bit. The mental side of things, with the pain and all the suffering, it got really hard, so I got in touch with the crisis team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got me in touch with the IAPT service.
Okay.
Which is like counselling and stuff like that. But as I was saying, they're not very good. No, I'm not saying it's not a very good service, but it's not aimed towards the sort of problems I feel I had, or I didn't connect with it as well as I should have.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what made you think you didn't connect well with the IAP service in particular?
They just didn't seem to understand, because the service is mainly for mental problems, if that's the right word to use.
Whatever words work for you, it's fine, don't worry.
It's more for mental problems, not something that, something that could be fixed within the brain, not something that could be fixed physically. Yeah. Because I feel my problem is obviously with the pain.
Yeah.
And without getting rid of the pain, it's really hard to get a good mindset, which they can quite connect together. Okay. So I think they were going a different direction to what you'd need in the service of trying to help someone. It's more of a long term rather than their short term. There you go, you feel better, here's some antidepressants, see you later.
Is that what they kind of, is that what you felt they kind of did?
I was there for about 4 weeks, and it was just sort of, how are you feeling today? What can we do to help? And it's sort of like, well, try and explain it, and they'll be like, well, there's not much we can do for that, but we can talk about how you're feeling this week. Like, well, that doesn't really do much for me.
How was that kind of like in terms of you like going to these appointments? What was that kind of doing for you? And
it did give me a chance to like talk over the pain I'm in, but it didn't help mentally, because that's all it was. I mean, there's nothing more to it. They couldn't offer me any alternative therapies or anything to connect with that. I reckon there should be more of a service to maybe add things to the to the mental side of things.
Yeah, so when you're talking about like a service, and what are you kind of envisaging about, like a pain service?
Well, including the pain management with the psychologists or psychiatrists, whatever you want to call them, and then just sort of connect it so they actually understand more of the levels of pain that people are going through, and connect it medically as well as just going on the word of someone who's saying they're depressed. And
for sure.
So as far as they're concerned, it's all in the brain and it's nothing to do with anything else. Yeah. So they don't really want to focus on that. It's more about how are you feeling, and is everyone safe around you, and and you're just like, I think they're okay, and then it's like, but how are you feeling today? I'm like, not too bad, but where's this going? And they're just like, okay, I'll see you same time next week. So it's just not a good enough service for. Sounds really bad. Not a good enough service.
No,
it doesn't connect with
yeah.
the problems that people are facing with chronic pain.
Yeah, so you've obviously been seeking treatment for a long time for your pain as well. So
all over.
Yeah, it'd be fair to say you've kind of gone through almost every avenue. Would that be kind of correct to say?
Yeah, but nothing connects with anything else. So if I walked into like pain management today, they'd just be like, "Hi, how can I help?" They wouldn't look over your previous history and connect one to the other. Even with physio, they sent me back to physio recently, and I sat there and they asked me what was wrong with me. And I was like, if they looked at their files, there'd be this to connect with that and that to connect with that. More of a service that's more of a group connection to it, if that makes sense. Because that way more people would actually I don't know. It's just not assessed in the right way. I don't feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense as well. But in terms of saying that, so you say you've looked for alternative kind of treatments as well. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've sought? So you talked about aquatherapy and stuff.
Aquatherapy, yeah.
So can you tell me a bit more about the alternative stuff you've looked at too, with the traditional means?
Sure. Well, trying to look outwards to that. I think the problem is we don't have those facilities in Coventry anyway. But mainly, you have to try and find them yourself rather than people being able to send you to these places.
Okay.
So I think it's harder unless somebody knows what they're looking for and how to get in. It was like the same way I found you guys was on the internet, just random.
Yeah.
You know, because I was searching for a way to try and find another way to help.
Yeah.
But I came across you guys and I thought maybe I can help someone else for a change. Hopefully.
No, you will. Taking parts. Thank you.
That's all right.
Without people like you, we can't do the research we'd like to do. So.
Sure, and hopefully that'll happen to people like me. So in turn, it's a bit selfish, really, that I'm here. But
not at all. Not at all.
So yeah, it's really hard to find any sort of different avenue because nobody will point you the right ways either.
Okay.
It's sort of like we'll try this, and then that doesn't work, and then they'll. Like I said, most stuff's not even in Coventry, so to travel. Aquatherapy was in Derby, I think it was.
That's that's like what, 45
minutes, something, or jump on the train and
And that incurs a lot of cost as well.
So yeah, it's not as if I could. When you're out of work because you're in the pain, then you can't afford to actually do these alternative things because you have to pay for them as well.
Yeah.
It's not like something you can be referred to. It's a separate. It's its own thing, and you'll have to pay to be a part of it. Same with going to a chiropractor.
Yeah, I was about to ask, and anything else you kind of have done as well?
Well, I did it for a while. That's taken me into quite a bit of debt, and then that's when they actually sent me for my MRI, and they realised there's a lot of damage on the spine, the sciatic nerve, and so I have a degenerative disc disease where the discs slip in and out because there's a lot of erosion around the there's damage actually on the sciatic nerve, which causes the spasms down the side of my body.
Gosh.
Which is really painful, and fibromyalgia, which is it just feels like it's on your skin. It's all down my back, but to touch it is enough to make me feel sick. So it's finding an alternative for all that sort of chronic pain. One will always negate the other. So doing something like I did the aquatherapy once, but it sounds very silly, but the pressure of the bubbles and stuff like that.
Did that kind of...
That made me feel really sick. Yeah, it felt like pure agony. Because it can be as simple as something like a shower, the water splashing off my back. It can really hurt. And then I've got the internal pain. Like I said, I've got that many bloody problems. It's really hard to find anything. It's just make a list. But hopefully I've got surgery in May. I've got to see the surgical consultant.
Oh, fab.
So they might be able to fix the spine. They won't be able to fix the nerve, but they might be able to regenerate itself.
Okay.
Highly likely, but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So at least I'm slightly moving forward now.
Is that kind of something that's make you feel hopeful in any way, or?
Oh, definitely. I'm trying to look on the bright side of things because I've had enough of being down and out about it. I need to just try and. I mean, I'm really disappointed. Just the fact that I can't go to the gym and do my old stuff. I mean, I used to be really physically fit, and then I've been on the cane for about I think it must be about 7 months, and then I lost it all. In 7 months. So even my fitness, I was at the peak, and then I'm now rubbish.
Back. But not rubbish,
Well, I've gone down to I can barely walk. So going from being able to doing everything. The worst thing is not being able to play with my daughter properly, going to the park and it might sound silly, but she was crying the other night that I couldn't take her to the park and play certain games. And I mean, that's really downhearting,
Yeah, it doesn't sound silly. It's affecting you and someone who's thinking in life.
It's more stuff like that really, I want to get stuff sorted for. Yeah, because like I said, I've had enough being down and out about it.
Yeah. But you seem like a very determined person otherwise.
I'm trying to be.
You are. So can I bring it back a bit and then kind of ask if there's any experiences in your treatment seeking that have stuck out as particularly negative? So I know you say you're not don't want to be down and out, and we're focused on something that may be a little bit down and out, but is there anything that sticks out as particularly negative for you?
What, for trying to find?
Yeah, trying to find or instances that you have sought treatment if you've thought oh, this is terrible, or something like that.
Okay.
If there's nothing, that's great.
I was going to say, it's not really one thing that sticks out. I just found that there was never really the right